you are, what's going on. People are there to help. Life is wonderful. It is what you make of it. I know there are tough times that people have. And if you're in that situation, I hope you'll reach out to people and they can help you through whatever it is you're struggling through or what you foresee coming. Also, if you're in a great position, great situation, feel free to lend out a hand to anyone who could use it, who needs it. The younger generations are always great to help out. Pass it along. Let everyone know. You don't have to shout it, but quietly just let everyone know that someone's there to help if they're in need. But anyways, on to what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this thing, SADS. SADS. So 2019, did you hear of SADS? 2018, 2012, 2000, 2005, 1996, 1993. SADS. Everyone would say, well, I'm guessing they would have said, well, you mean SIDS? Sudden Infant Death Syndrome? No, SADS. Why has you not heard about that? And why has no one really heard about that back then? Until, amazingly, the last few months, last year, so the SAD's been all the rave. It's been in the headlines. Everyone's been talking about it, or a lot of people have been talking about it. So what is it? Sudden Arrhythmic Death Syndrome, or Sudden Adult Death Syndrome. So it's this thing, this anomaly, this whatever, that adults or, not children die all of a sudden. They die in their sleep, they die resting, they die, sometimes they die driving, flying a plane, whatever. It just happens. It's SADS. They want to give it a title, give it a name to try to explain it away, to let people not worry about it, to get them not looking into things, not thinking about things, not thinking about that it's pretty crazy that this wasn't a thing, but all of a sudden it is a big thing now, and now they're trying to blame it on the heat, trying to blame it on the cold, trying to blame it on it's too moist, there's too much moisture outside, there's not enough, it's because of the apples on the trees, the dirt in the ground, whatever. They can blame it on, they're going to try to blame it on. And it just all of a sudden came about. After 2019, after 2020, really. And what was going on there? Well, it's supposed to have put this pharmaceutical product in people's blood system, in their veins, in their arteries that flow through their blood, to get injected, whatever, from a private pharmaceutical company, or one of four, one of three, one of two, whatever. And most of these were forced. Forced, you would lose your job, you would not be able to do X, Y, Z, you would not be able to get this job, you would not be able to have or see your children, you would not be able to do whatever it is. So, in essence, it could be force. You could say that. I would say that. Coercion. It's getting people to do stuff without telling them you have to, or I'm going to shoot you in the head, basically, is what happened. So, now that SADS is here, hooray, hurrah, they got it named Sudden Arrhythmic Death Syndrome, or Sudden Adult Death Syndrome. It's going to be blamed on the climate, which they've already started because of this whole climate change hoax scam, whatever you want to call it, global warming, global cooling, global, we don't know what's going on, so we're going to blame it on that because we have our other ideas in mind about how we want stuff to be addressed and how we want stuff to go. So we're going to call it something we can't control, but we're going to say that these things come from it. Because if it's cold, it's because of its being so cold. If it's hot, it's because of it being so hot. If there's been no storms, and no earthquakes and nothing. It's been really calm. Well, it's because of, climate change. Or if there's a ton of them, well, it's because of climate change. Or if there's a lot of forest fires, well, that's because of climate change. Or there's not enough forest fires to burn down all the dead stuff in the woods, in the forests, in the jungle. Well, that's needed for it to survive and thrive. Well, that's because of climate change. If people start dropping dead from sudden arrhythmic death syndrome, it's because of climate change. It's because of the climate. What about it? Was it too hot? Well, no, it's because of the climate, though. Was it too cold? It's because of the climate, though. Was it because of no, it's just because of the climate. And that's all they say. Because then they want to say, well, because of the high CO2 that's in the atmosphere, and it's really no higher than it ever has been. It's been higher in the past. I'm talking decades in the past. It's been higher. That's why. So we're going to have to tax this, this carbon tax, the CO2 tax, whatever they want to call it, because then you pay the government, you pay us parasites, the government that only live because of you guys, the citizens that we steal from. But because of that, we need you to pay us more in form of a carbon tax because of climate. So, just think about it. Just really strip it down and think about it at its root level. And it doesn't make sense. But they won't tell you that. And if you question it, you're in trouble. You're the one causing the problem. You're the one talking all these theories, that kind of stuff. But anyways, I just want people to think about this. I will do a video here once I'm fully immersed in this. I've started on SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. And that might cause some issues once I get through that video. But anyways, this is SADS, sudden arrhythmic death syndrome, sudden adult death syndrome. Do some searches. Do Google searches for all I care. Or some other searches, DuckDuckGo or those other search engines. Do some searches and see what pops up. And then start reading. Don't just read the headlines. Read into it. And see what the explanation is from the people, what the causes they're saying to. And then look at it and question it. Does it make sense? Is this really? Even if you aren't a high school graduate, even if you are a PhD in college, even if you've been a PhD and you've taught, you've lectured students, and you've been doing this stuff for 30 years, you're a rocket scientist, whatever. Question it and say, does this make sense? Does this mean 2 + 2 = 4? Or are they trying to get me to think something else? That's all I got to say. Well, no, it's not all I got to say. I got one more thing to say before I close out this video. Shall not be infringed. That is the second. Shall not be infringed. It shall not be infringed for a reason. Shall not be infringed means you should not touch this thing at all. You shouldn't change it. You shouldn't add to it to be able to do it. You shouldn't charge for it. You shouldn't say certain people can do it and certain people can't. Period. Shall not be infringed. That's it. We must not allow our guns and our protection be taken away by a bunch of parasites. I don't care what country they're from. They're parasites, period. That's it. Shall not be infringed. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this, like, share, subscribe, all that. And as always, stay vigilant, protect your family, your health, protect yourself, protect your wealth.